Hey, Keith and Gustavo over at Seriously Strong Training. Today we're going to show you how to do a snatch grip deadlift. This is an advanced deadlift variation, so if you're going to give this a shot, make sure you've mastered the standard conventional deadlift position first. You've got that nailed down perfectly. Then you can start working on these snatch grip deadlifts. Your standard deadlift is set up to help you lift the most amount of weight possible. Snatch grip deadlifts are more difficult because of the starting position, but they are a fundamental technique you need to be able to master to learn how to do Olympic weightlifting. So if you're going to do Olympic weightlifting, first make sure you mastered a standard deadlift, then start working on these snatch grip deadlifts. We're going to show you the difference between those two variations. Gustavo's going to get started here with a conventional deadlift, and I'm going to show you what happens when we start to bring our hands wider, how that makes the lift more difficult, and what the effects of that really are. So he's got his feet hip width apart, hands just outside of the legs. Now he's going to get nice and tight, shoulders back, boom. This is a great position for doing a standard conventional deadlift. Now what we're going to show you here is, first look how flat his back is, right? Great positioning here. Now, Gustavo's going to start to slide his hands out slowly, and what you're going to see is how his body position starts to change as he gets wider and wider and wider. Now go ahead and get nice and tight, or as tight as you can here, Gustavo. He's at the extreme ends of the barbell. This is the hardest position you can be in for a snatch grip deadlift, but go ahead and start bringing them in nice and narrow to where you were previously, and then look where his starting position changes to. So that's what makes a snatch grip, go ahead and stand up. That's what makes a snatch grip deadlift so much harder, is that you have to start in such a lower position. You start getting really folded over, and it's really hard to maintain an arched back when you're all the way down here. That makes it harder. The other thing that makes it harder is that the bar has to travel a greater distance, because when we are doing a standard deadlift, let's go and show you that real quick, right? Hands in, nice and narrow, arched. Good. He's going to bring it up. Look where his finish position here is, right? Just a little bit over mid-thigh, right? So remember that, mid-thigh. Now we're going to do a snatch grip deadlift, and now I'm going to have him just take it all the way out to the extreme to show you the difference here. Remember, that was mid-thigh. Boom. Now we're all the way over the hip. So that's probably a 6 or 8 inch difference here, which that's one of the other things that's going to make the movement so much harder to do. So if you have great mobility, if you're learning how to do Olympic weightlifting, you need to be able to do these. So I'm going to point out what you need to focus on now. We're going to go ahead and get into what is a more standard snatch grip deadlift position here. And for most people, I'm going to say that's going to be about index finger on one of the lines you have. Some bars have 1 mark, some bars have 2. When you're learning it the first time, start narrow, start working your way out a little bit wider, but Gustavo has great mobility. He is familiar with this exercise, so his optimal positioning here is going to be probably that index finger on the outer line. He's going to exhale, he's going to inhale, he's going to get nice and tight, back is strong, lats are engaged, and he's going to stand it up, boom, and he's going to go ahead and bring it back down. Go ahead and get a few more, Gustavo. And will you go ahead and just reset between these as well? So he's going to exhale, rounded, inhale, tight, boom. He's keeping the bar really close the whole time. There you guys have it. Snatch grip deadlift. It is a challenging exercise. Make sure you master the conventional deadlift first. There's no need to jump right out to the widest part you can go. It's perfectly acceptable to start where you normally would be and go out another inch or 2 inches, and to slowly work your way down over time until you get into that position where it's nice and wide and it's starting to get a little more reminiscent of the starting position you would be when you're actually doing a snatch. If that is one of your goals, is to get into Olympic weightlifting, you're going to need to learn the movement, you're going to need to learn to master it. But start slow like everything, progress, take your time, make sure you have all the good fundamental techniques of a quality deadlift.